What is going on, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to be taking a look at the PC port for Stray, which is available now over on Steam for $30. And it had a lot of reports of stuttering issues and stuff, which honestly I didn't really experience too much. There's a couple of stutters here or there, like loading into new areas. We'll talk more about that in a minute. And we'll get into the graphics options and everything like that. The game is also available on PS4 and PS5. It is a timed exclusive for PlayStation, so it's not on Xbox currently at the moment, but you can play it on PC, which is probably why you're here anyway, watching a PC port report. So right after a word from our sponsor, we'll get into it. But first, today's video is brought to you by KeysFan.com and their software super deal, where you can get some of the best prices out there on Microsoft software. Especially with my coupon code, you can get half off of Windows keys, as well as 62% off on Microsoft Office products like Windows 10 Pro, Windows 11 Pro, and Office 2019 Professional Plus, and Office 2021 Professional Plus. And they've also got a bundle with Windows 10 Pro and Office 2019 in the same package. To save money on Windows 10 Pro, just go ahead and add the key to your cart, which starts off at $15.17. But once you get into your cart, you can go ahead and apply my discount code at checkout YTB50, and that will give you a shocking 50% off, bringing the price down to just over $7 at $7.58. And when you proceed to checkout, you can pay with either a credit card or PayPal, whichever one happens to fit your needs. And this also applies to Microsoft Office products, but again, you're going to get 62% off on Office products with the code YTB62 at checkout. Applying that to the $67.40 price, Office 2019 brings the price down to a stunning $25.61. So I don't know what you're waiting for. If you need your software keys, head over to KeysFan.com right now and be sure to use those coupon codes at checkout. YTB50 on Windows products for half off, and YTB62 for 62% off on Microsoft Office products. First up, as always, I do like to jump into the graphics options menu and kind of show you what's in here. There's not a ton of options, and honestly, the game runs very, very well. Anyway, kind of wish it had ray tracing and like DLSS and stuff, but sadly it doesn't. But for all of my playing, I was playing at 4K. There is also a resolution slider if you need to use that. You can uncap the frame rate completely, or you can lock it to 30 or 60 if you need to. I'm currently playing on a 60 Hz monitor because my other monitor broke, getting a new one later today. So you might be able to set that to like 120, 144 if you're on a high refresh monitor. But as I said, I'm playing on a 60 Hz display for right now. But I had VSync off anyway for this testing. Motion blur has a slider, which I had completely disabled because motion blur is cancer. There's also a sharpness slider, and then we have a few quality settings down here for effects, shadows, textures, and mesh. And that is it. And that is the highest those all go. They go high, medium, or low. And that really is it. And everything is kind of bundled into that. No specific setting for anti-aliasing, unless you want to consider, I guess, sharpness to be sort of like that. But that's it. So let's get into the gameplay and talk about how Stray is running here on my PC and the type of experience you guys might be experiencing as well. Now, as I said at the start, there's been a lot of news reports coming in about micro-stutter in this game and the game stuttering on PC and the shaders compiling and stuff like that. And the developers have said that they are planning a patch post-release to address this stuff. But honestly, in about the 2 hours that I played the game, I didn't see really any micro-stuttering outside of when it was loading into a new area, which the way people made it sound was like it would go in, like every time you were walking along a new asset was loading in, it would stutter, like you might see on DirectX 12 and something like a Battlefield title like we've talked about in the past, or on Unreal Engine games, as this is an Unreal Engine game. But as it was running in DirectX 11, which is what it defaulted to for me, and I didn't see any other setting for DirectX 12, even though DirectX 12 was in the system requirements and it's listed over on Steam. Kind of weird. But the game runs in DirectX 11. And basically, I would only see a stutter for like a split second if it loaded into like a completely new area or if it was coming out of a cutscene. Like the cutscene ended and it was loading back into gameplay and there was like a little bit of a frame time stutter. And then as soon as I started moving the character, my kitty cat, the game ran absolutely fine. Smooth as silk, pretty flat frame times. And outside of those loading into areas, in 2 hours, I only saw one stutter during a gameplay sequence, where I jumped from like one platform to another. And again, though, that could have been like a hidden type of loading screen type of situation. Like maybe that was a new area, but it was just disguised fairly seamlessly, other than the fact that it stuttered. But it was just the one time. It was the one time it stuttered. Other than that, as you'll see here in the frame time graph, completely smooth. And this is very early on in the game. I actually recorded like 2 hours of gameplay, or at least I thought I did. Turns out Shadowplay cut off after about 18 minutes because my hard drive had filled up, and I was not aware of that until I tried to go record this portion of the video. So, yeah, I only got about 18 minutes of footage recorded here on the PC. I also did play the game on PlayStation 5 a little bit, as it was free for PlayStation Plus people that have the middle tier or higher of PlayStation Plus, their version of Game Pass, essentially. So Stray was available for free on that. So if you have PlayStation and PlayStation Plus, then you could conceivably play this game for absolutely nothing. And it ran great on PS5 as well. 60 FPS solid completely. No issues on there, but you guys are here to talk about the PC. And as you can see, the frame rate, 4K maxed out on my 3080 Ti. It's getting well over 100 frames per second all of the time. The frame time graph is smooth. VRAM, a little more taxing than I thought. It was regularly over about 8 gigabytes, but didn't really seem to, present any issues with performance for me. I think the PC port is pretty solid here. I was playing with mouse and keyboard. They did recommend when you launch the game to play with a controller, and I could see why. It's a platformer, but it's really not it's not like a game where you really need a lot of precision when it comes to the platforming, at least from what I've seen, because you can't really interact with from going from one point to the next unless it allows you to. Like, you can't just jump around, willy-nilly. You pretty much have to look at an object you want to go to and wait for the prompt to come up to either press space or A or X on a controller or whatever. So you literally have to look at where you want to go, and then the prompt will come up, and then you can jump to it. So you're not going to be platforming around and falling all over the place, at least from what I can see. So you really don't need the precision of a controller that would be very beneficial in a platformer. So mouse and keyboard was absolutely fine. If you want to play with mouse and keyboard, I don't think you'll really be presented with any major issues with doing so. There is one other thing I wanted to talk about. As I said, performance is all good. Mouse and keyboard support's good. No issues there. Not a ton of graphics options. But ultra-wide users. Now, the game does support ultra-wide, and when you're playing the game, it will fill out the screen entirely. The only issue really was with cutscenes, which even on a 16:9 monitor, they put black bars at the top and the bottom of the screen. And they even do this for ultra-wide, and the ultra-wide does not fill out the entire screen. So it has pillar boxes. Oh, I just hit my mic arm. So it has pillar boxing for ultra-wide during cutscenes, but it also has the black bars at the top and the bottom. So you end up with a black border completely around the image. But again, this is only during cutscenes, and it's probably not going to be too much of an issue for most people, unless you're an ultra-wide user and it really, really bothers you. But otherwise, it's still a good game, and even with those small issues, like I said, for ultra-wide, it would still be worth playing if you wanted to play this game because you want to be a kitty cat. You could be a kitty cat, and you'll just have to put up with a couple of ultra-wide issues with the cutscenes and stuff. And there was one cutscene which was actually interactive. It was like there's these characters running around, and you're basically just walking through a street, but it's sort of like, let's say, it's sort of like an interactive cutscene. So I don't know how many of those are going to be in the game later on, but it was only the one where I saw that. And the cutscenes are not super duper frequent anyway, but when they do come up, if you're on ultra wide, you'll probably not be a big fan of the pillar boxing as well as the letter boxing on the top and the bottom happening at the same exact time. But it is what it is. Otherwise, during regular gameplay, it'll fill out the full 21:9 aspect ratio, so that's nice to see. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with the PC port on this. I have no problem recommending it to play on PC. I probably will end up playing this mostly all the way through on my PS5, only just because it's a very laid-back, casual kind of game, and I kind of feel like sitting on my couch, and it's also a fairly approachable game. Like, I had my niece playing it last night, a little bit on the PS5, and she doesn't really play much video games, but she was able to pick this up and play it, and she thought it was cute because, well, you're a fucking kitty cat, and kitty cats are cute, goddammit. So, if you want to be a kitty cat, go be a kitty cat. On Steam, PS5, PS4, whatever, $30 or free if you have PlayStation Plus Premium or whatever the fuck they call the Game Pass thing on there. I don't know, it's kind of confusing. And that's all I've got for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Let me know your experience with being kitty cat and all your kitty cat stuff and hanging out with your kitty cat friends and being kitty cat. Okay, I'm going to get out of here. Catch you guys next time. And I love you, I think. I don't know why I said that. Whatever. I got a haircut appointment. Peace.